It's not noisy up here. I think we're the only ones up here on this floor. So we got the full energy of it. Oh, absolutely.
Is there a possibility to change the view of the
So you want-
She wants to be in the front. She wants to be in the front, yeah.
You don't want to?
No.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
So should we go back to the chairs or something? Or
That should be good.
okay, you're not inside.
Okay.
I don't see you.
All right.
So is everybody okay with the English? Fine. If something happens, somebody doesn't understand something, just say so, not
All right.
just me.
So now we can start Hakoda Beseda.
Yeah.
Shmieli Tamalamim. Almost. But anyway, I'm from Ohio, USA, and I've been on a pranic path or the Breatharian path for 19 years. Now, what made me start this path basically was the awakening of health problems. In other words, I was on a standard American diet, getting overweight, and I grew up that you're supposed to have a lot of food from your family, eating 5 meals a day, you know, breakfast, lunch, everything in between. And I saw myself gaining more and more weight. And as time went on, I really felt uncomfortable. So back then I didn't know nothing about diet changes or anything like that. I was a minister of a church at the time, but the only thing I knew how to combat it was, due to my ignorance or education, pray over it. But nothing happened. It just kept getting bigger, bigger, bigger. Right? So, in my mind, that started the journey. Because when suffering takes place, there's a good thing that comes from suffering. For number one, it makes you realize you need to do something about your condition, or it's going to continue or get worse. So, out of nowhere, I met a man who said, "Won't you just leave meat alone?" And that was the right message I needed to hear. Now, I heard about vegetarianism, but I never really met one or knew like that. But being desperate, I just let all meat alone. And guess what? When I went grocery shopping, I didn't know how to be a vegan. So I just got canned goods and said, this ain't got meat in it. It's corn, it's green beans, you know, I'm a vegan. However, just by making those changes, I seen health improvements take place. I began to lose weight, stuff like this. So pretty soon I wanted to add in exercise. So I started to go to the track every day, and in my mind I saw myself running, you know. But when I got there, that's not what happened. The mind is saying one thing, but the body's saying another. So I found myself walking, but that was good. I stayed consistent with the walking. And over a period of time, I could see myself losing more and more weight. And the body's like a rubber band. So I felt myself feeling better, looking better, having more energy. But see, where I'm at now today, I didn't realize back then that that is the pranic path. See, the pranic path, when you hear about eating or not eating, a breatharian, and it first shocked you if you never heard it before. Everybody has to eat.
What?
Everybody has to eat, you know, when you first hear the message. However, due to the age we at now, and the knowledge is getting stronger, it's not in its infancy now. Right now it's in full blown. What we're basically saying is that the human being has the ability to go to different energy sources. Because we're systems of energy held together by thought. Now, it starts out as a philosophy. However, now we got the knowledge where you can put things to practical use to actually transform yourself over a period of time. Now, what's going to take place is, where's this energy going to come from? Because before we grew up in it, it came from the food, crystal clear. Everybody's clear on that. So when you're dealing with the Breatharian knowledge, meditation is the foundation. Because meditations are designed to open up energy channels in the body. And there's different forms of meditation. There's sound meditation, light meditation, there's breath work. And all of them is powerful if a person takes it seriously and also get educated on the Breatharian knowledge. See, if you didn't know it, nothing exists, you can't create it. But once you understand and you start meeting the people, and they start telling you, if you continue on this path, this will happen. This is what age we in now. Now you got Breatharians like myself and even more people around the world who's coming out eating very little or none at all. This isn't far-fetched no more. So just like the cell phone, we got a cell phone now, but we didn't always have a cell phone. Those of you who are old enough, we had a time when we had to dial it, it was plugged up to the wall. Now you don't see that no more. In every area, technology has increased itself. The automobile, there was a time you had to crank it up. It's going off of fossil fuels. Now we have automobiles that could go off electricity, go off of solar, go off of other different fuels, nuclear power. It doesn't matter. There's other forms of power. Now, does this exclude the human being? Absolutely not. What makes us different than other animals is our consciousness. We have the ability to see and obey universal laws that seem invisible. We can make a plan and we can transform ourselves. If you wanted to start running marathons, if everything is in place with this machine, this is a bio machine, you can start training yourself to run marathons. You can make a plan. And it won't happen overnight. You know, you might have to start with 1 mile. Work up to 2 miles. Then you get into 5 miles. That feels real good. So I used to run one time, but when I got to 5 miles, that felt good. But there's something in us, you quit after a while. But anyway, just like anything, Breatharianism is the same way. If you stop eating, you're going to have problems right away. People do starve to death and they do die. But through meditation and cultivating this energy that's inside you, you can get to the point where you will go longer periods without eating. And then you can put it down all together and you will know when you're ready because the body built up enough energy. Now these energy sources, we live in them. The sun is one. All of us can identify with that. That is the biggest external energy source that we can identify with on this planet. All life is dependent on it. And if the sun wasn't there, we wouldn't be here. We're living in the electromagnetic field of the sun. And the sun is so powerful that every day when it comes up, it ain't even had to ask our permission. Our bodies are already in tune with it. Our pineal gland will let go of a fluid called serotonin to detoxify the blood. And then every night when the moon comes out, our body is so hooked up to the matrix, it will do the same thing. It will give out melatonin. So when you're getting on the Breatharian path, it's an education of your biology. Now let's get into this word, education. We're going to talk about that. What is it? And it's valuable to be educated on anything. It betters your life. It has the power to get you more income. It has the power to make life easier, to know some things. But now we got another education. Usually when we think of education, we think of the standard degrees that society made. That is education. Nobody's arguing that. But then there's another education, and this is what the Breatharian knowledge deals with. Why is that? Because Breatharian knowledge deals with, and I'm going to use a word, and I'm not really trying to get religious, the spiritual sciences. Now, we're not talking religion. We're talking about, now let's remove that word spiritual. Energetic sciences. Because your body deals with energy. You use energy to see, energy to talk, energy for your heart to beat. And guess what? These things are taking place and ain't got nothing to do with what you're eating. We just think so. So that's why you got to go through this other education. But what is it? And what type of teachers are you dealing with? Will you deal with nourishment from other sources? Now there's another education, and it's called, have any of y'all ever heard of the School of Hard Knocks?
What?
The School of Hard Knocks.
Hard knocks, a couple, not people shut playing.
Or the University of Life. Life experiences.
3 points.
So when we talk about Breatharian knowledge, people come all the time, teach me that secret meditation, that secret knowledge, and there is none. There's another type of cultivation, and it's dealing with life itself, it's experience, because everything you deal with is energetic. Relationships is energetic. The job you work in. And when you're dealing with energy, it's either going to pull from you or it's going to give it to you.
רק אם אפשר להשאיר טיפה פתוח, כי יש עוד אנשים שאומרים להגיע.
לא, לא ממש. אני יכול לפתוח קצת.
Almost. Wait a minute.
So he's closing the door because of the noise from the outside.
Oh, that's good.
All right.
So when we deal with the pranic lifestyle, what it is, it's a holistic lifestyle. That's all it is. There's nothing wrong with breathing clean air, is it?
What?
Breathing clean air. Learning how to breathe again. And usually when you see a baby breathing, the stomach is going in and out. But through the stress of life, the way we're eating and stuff like this, the breath start rising itself. And most sickness and disease, the medical profession is telling you this through their education, starts in the colon. So when you deal with breatharian knowledge, guess where we're going? We're going to have to clean this out so that we can have better health and more energy. You see how this isn't far-fetched no more? When you're dealing with the breatharian knowledge, you're going to get educated on how to breathe and the importance of it. Because a person that eats every day, their intestines is their primary digestive system. There's nothing wrong with that. And their lungs is their secondary. But when you make that transition to be a breatharian, your lungs is going to be your primary digestive system, and your intestines is going to be your secondary. It's not removing nothing. It's about how you have trained the body to start changing its behavior to coordinate with the atmosphere. It's already doing it. All right, here we go now. We're going to tap deeper. Now, what do the School of Hard Knocks have to do with this? Because life experiences, they're really hard to explain sometimes. Usually a person has to go through an experience for them to understand what you're talking about. I was just at some group where there was some young woman. We were talking and I was explaining something to her. It was about children. Now, she never had children before, don't know. But she's trying to keep up on the conversation. Now, the people who had children understood what I was talking about. She don't have a clue. Now, she started bringing up other things about her daycare and people she came close with, but that's not your child. You don't understand. So she couldn't really go there, so I had to keep going on a life experience that she had to relate it. And then she understood. See, because that's another education, because life is full of experiences. See, even when you're eating now, do you know that's nothing but an experience? It don't have nothing to do with you staying alive. That's a life experience. So even when you make a diet change, I choose to leave meat alone and go here. I'm going with live and raw foods. I'm going to do more juicing. Those are just different forms of life experiences that will take you into another frequency, another vibration, on its own. Now let's make this make sense. Now the school of hard knocks. Now usually when you deal with breatharianism, most people just focus on the food. Food is 10%. Don't even focus on the food. Food freedom is a byproduct of you living a holistic lifestyle. Really living one. It's just not grabbing one thing. You're putting in the totality of how you are conducting yourself throughout life, because you're living in an ocean of energy. It will give it to you when you open up to it. Now listen at this. But there's one thing the human being is dealing with. There's stress. Stress blocks energy. Whether it's on a physical level, emotional, mental, they're all one. It blocks energy coming to the body. Now let's get it even deeper. Trauma. Most past trauma you've been to, if you haven't dealt with it, it's still stuck in your body, and it's causing problems. So when you get on the breatharian path, this is why meditation is the foundation. You're going to start dealing with your past traumas so it can bring light into the body, so you can be nourished. You have to go through the cleansing process. You have to go back into purity on some type of level for nature to what? Sustain the creature. Now science is already telling you you're a part of nature. What does that mean? Just because you can stand next to a tree? It ain't got nothing to do with that. You are self-sustaining, but the energies is having problems coming into our being due to our lifestyles and due to the stress and due to the trauma that we have taken place within our bodies. Now, the school of hard knocks, that's a person who have learned life experiences through negativity. Now let's read about a person, read that first one. This is a person of the school of hard knocks, life experiences.
Yeah, the University of Life, University of Hard Knocks. It is an idiomatic phrase, meaning that sometimes painful education.
Sometimes it's a painful education.
Yeah. One gets from lives, usually negatively, experiencing often contrasted with formal education.
Now listen at this. Just living life, you're going to run into different forms of stress. Just growing up. And when people go to a therapy, usually that therapy keep leading them back into a childhood experience. Where did it all begin? And here you are an adult, some 20, 30, 40 years later, and it's still causing problems in your life from way back here. It didn't leave. All we did was tuck it away, but it's more than that. It actually blocked you from being nourished from the external forces. There was a woman one time who decided to start to take yoga. And she seen these improvements taking place. She began, and then she started adding in a diet. So she began to see more improvements, lose weight. Now she had on her goal to get down to like 140 pounds. I forgot how many kilos that was. But she couldn't get past 150. She fasted more. She changed her diet even more. She even did more yoga. She couldn't get past 150. Then one day, it came up in her that 150 was the weight she was at when she got a divorce. It was stuck into her body. Until she dealt with the divorce, that's when she was able to drop the weight. So I gotta teach this because when you're on a pranic path, people jump straight for the diet. Only thinking that that's gonna do it. They'll write me. Only time I put tape on my mouth. I'm not gonna eat no more. And that's not gonna do it. We have to deal with these traumas. The stress is lodged into us. So it can automatically, by its nature, connect more with the macrocosm. You already connect with the stars, the circulation of things, the flow of energy. But we got to straighten it out or harmonize it so you can be nourished more. Now, the School of Hard Knocks is good too because who is teaching breatharian knowledge? What type of people? Because you got your formal education and notice they ain't teaching breatharianism in Harvard. They're not.
Not yet.
Not yet.
It would be funny if they would.
Right. But they'll give you information about the benefits of the sun, the benefits of breathing. They're tapping around, but they have to do it away because this is formal education. The teachers of breatharianism is the people of the School of Hard Knocks. They got it from life experiences. That's why when I started out this thing, this conference, I said what started my journey, I was overweight, feeling bad. I went the wrong way. So through this life journey, that's all I'm telling you, my journey. I was going through the School of Hard Knocks. Now all I'm doing is sharing my journey. It was through negative experiences. How I went from what? Becoming ready to die, sick, going into health, then going into food freedom. But that came from negative experiences. The world didn't teach me that. See, no matter who tells you about breatharianism, you're not going to know it till you go through the experience. That's how it works. So just like these past experiences that I've been through, this is why I'm sharing it with you. Hopefully something can connect with you. Oh, that's similar to what I've been through. Learn how to straighten it out so it can bring more energy into the body.
Question. How come the stress and the trauma is blocking the breathing way and it is not blocking the food? So that it is not blocking getting energy from the food, but it is blocking getting energy from the breath.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I should get Netta on that one. Oh my God. Would you like to take that one, Netta?
I'll take
Now
it.
this is a good friend of mine, and she's into what? People fasting, detoxifying themselves.
We like to meet people where they are.
Right.
If you're eating everything, we'll meet you there and take it up to the next step.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a vegetarian, you might want to be there or go tibonit, vegan. If you're vegan, we may take you to the next step of fruitarian. If you're mostly fruit, maybe we do water fasting. If you're very cleansed and detox and very clean, maybe we work with you on fasting, tzom. So wherever you are, we just try to take the next step and get stable if you're, someplace new. So we work with a lot of cleansing, detoxing, taking ourselves to the next place we're ready to go to.
Right.
And in that process, we just see a lot of emotions clearing out, a lot of historic experiences that do get lodged or stuck in our body. So our body has really a lot of memory. And so as we are lightening up our body, we are lightening up from our history, from our trauma, from our emotions, and from our beliefs that maybe don't work so great, So that's like a big picture of what we do. We also work really intuitively with people. So we meet and just feel intuitively what the body is asking for or what it needs.
Right.
Maybe where some of the problems lie. So now let's get to
He was
this
saying
question.
basically, how come that if you had an issue in the past or trauma in the past, how the reception of energy from other sources,
Right.
but it might not block, the way he sees it, it would not block your nourishment from physical food.
It actually does block your nourishment from physical food. It does. So you can eat food, you can eat 2,000 calories a day, you can eat this food. Are you getting the actual energy from the food? Are you getting the actual nourishment, the vitamins and minerals, everything that's in food for us? Are you getting it? Science has proven if you're upset, mad, or sad when you eat, our cells change, and the good stuff in the food just goes right on past. It doesn't have a place to be received. They're called docking stations on the cells. There's no place for this good stuff to come into the cell. The cell is mad, sad, or blocked. So even though you may be eating good food, if you're mad, sad, or upset when you're eating it, you are not getting the nutritional benefit from that food. And you're not getting the energy of that food either. So our state of the mind and the body, our feelings and thoughts when we eat, I would say is just as important or possibly more important than what we actually eat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think your trauma is blocking your food's ability to get into your body. And we see that a lot with things being clogged on the inside of the intestine, so they get so small. When the food comes through, what we need from the food doesn't go through the wall into the body, into the blood. So we're just, we can be blocked and, you know, have all our history still in our body.
Oh, we hope that helped.
Yeah.
It's all connected. See, when we said living on prana as a holistic lifestyle, listen at that word, whole. And we used to breaking things up in parts and pieces. So that trauma and that food has great connection. They're not separate. So there's times too that, like for myself, a food that I think I love is connected with a trauma. But that's a whole nother ball game as we get into it. But as we go back to this, oh, thank you so much, Dad, on explaining that.
Can I just introduce myself because I didn't understand the beginning. You do the workshop with the...
Yeah, I also missed the first sentence when you introduced yourself. If you could
Okay.
repeat it.
I'm Netta Cohen,
Yes.
and I work with people, I support people on their health journey. So we do cleansing and detoxing and not just the pranic path, but I think all of life is pranic.
Right.
So all of life is pranic. So we look at the whole picture, not just your food, but your feelings and your enjoyment, all of your life. It's all together, you know.
Now look how she said all of life is the pranic path. So you brought up going through the pranic process. And a lot of people throw that off because they went through a 21-day process, 8-day process. Like that's the pranic path. You're already on the pranic path. Pranic just is another word for energy. Everybody's dealing with energy, but with a person who go into the breatharian levels, as we want to say, you just have gotten a lot better at working with energies, working with relationships, working what goes into your body. You can see it now. You know the connection of everything. There's nothing that's unconnected. So that's why a lot of these things, I bring it up to School of Hard Knocks, because you got a lot of the people now who came up out of their traumas, and those are the teachers who's coming back to teach these curriculums. This is why this goes with the spiritual sciences. See, the spiritual sciences deal with the human being and his relationship to nature. We're not talking about an automobile. That's something else. We're not talking about how nuclear physics works. We talk about ourselves in a relationship. Because this vehicle that we have, we can literally transform it. And this is what we're getting into to go off of other energy sources. But what we're saying is, now we also got to understand it ain't about what you add to you. It's about what you get rid of. And we want to do it slowly. Now read the number 2 on the School of Hard Knocks.
All right, chapter 2. It is a phrase which is most typically used by a person to claim to a level of wisdom imparted by life's experience.
It will get you to a level of wisdom that was given to them by life's experiences. It ain't had nothing to do with going to Harvard University. This person got wise just from living.
Yes.
Did you say the Hebrew translation for the School of Hard Knocks?
Oh man.
Yes.
זה בית הספר,
בית ספר של החיים.
זה התחושה שהחיים דופקים אותך, בעברית פשוטה.
זה נקרא בית ספר של החיים, זאת אומרת שאנחנו, הפירוש המילולי של the School of Hard Knocks זה בעצם בית ספר של החיים. כמו שאנחנו משתמשים בזה בשפה העברית, שאנחנו אומרים למישהו, אני הלכתי לבית ספר של, הייתי בבית ספר של החיים.
כן, השתפשפתי.
בדיוק. Exactly.
Yeah, somebody that was rolled by the stones.
Somebody who was rolled by the stones. That's the Hebrew translation. In other words, the negativities of life, they learned from it. So therefore they became wise. They know some things. So we had a thing and people talk about nowadays about, well, if you're on a healthy path, and they relating, because we've been taught, gray hair with bad health. But no, that's your cap. That's your cap from living in the School of Hard Knocks. That's your graduation cake.
How do you spell hard nuts?
Hard
knocks.
knocks.
Hard
No,
nuts.
yeah,
Yeah, like
Got it.
knocking on wood.
Okay.
No.
Being knocked over. Okay.
Right. And you got wise. And keep reading.
Okay. So this experience, which should be considered at least equal in merit to academic knowledge.
And it's equal to what? Academic knowledge. Right now you got people, they learning all that book knowledge. You seen those people but don't know nothing about life experiences. And then there's times the government got to say, okay, we're going up there in that forest, but get somebody who know the forest. All we know is so-and-so who know how to look under the microscope. But we need somebody who has the experience so we can live and survive through there. Somebody knows it. They didn't go to school to learn it. They went there time and time again where they know that place, know how to live, know how to survive, know what to eat, know what not to eat. This is what we're dealing with. And they wise. And it's an academic achievement equal to. Don't need no paperwork. So let's keep reading again.
Okay, so
Oh, hold up now. Oh, let me get this.
we're here.
All right. We don't want that. Let's go into education.
Okay.
Because my thing was, as I'm going around the world, I'm educating people on living on prana, being a breatharian. So we can break the myths to see what it is and what it's not. And when we talked about the process, it ain't no 21-day process. I'm not putting it down because you went to a little thing like that. Let's see what education, what it says.
So education is the process of receiving or giving systematic instructions.
It's a process of receiving and giving a systematic instructions. That's life. You're getting educated with life. That's what Breatharian path is. You're going to work with energies all your life. You've been working with them already. So now you're going to become good at it. That's all. You're going to better yourself at it. You know now. You just ain't eating anything no more. You know it's an energy and it can lead you a certain way. So through the hard knocks, oh, my stomach hurt again. What did you eat? The cake again? You know it did. So through hard knocks, you done got wise. I don't want to eat the cake after 6 o'clock.
And you don't want to be anymore in a situation where your stomach hurts.
Right, and then after a while you get wise on that.
Yeah.
That's what a breatharian is. He got so wise. See, at the degree I'm at now, I can say all food is poison. I can say that through the hard knocks. Time and time again. Just don't make me feel good. I don't feel right. I'd rather feel like this. But before I ain't know. Well, this apple got plenty of such and such in it. But you had to go through those phases. Over and over again. Those are the teachers. And they're being easy, like Netta said. She ain't say jumping you from here to here. We don't need to say all food is poison and expect you not to do it. Where you at, you meet a person where they at, and this is what I had to do to myself. I went from what? Eating anything to a vegan. Then I added in more what? I learned about the live and raw foods, eating more enzymes, seeing my health start improving. Then I had to learn how to start eating less. All of this came through. But it just didn't come from no books. You know, I appreciate them. It came through the life experience. Let me see what that feels like. That's how you want to know. Now, read more about the education.
So, it's an enlightening experience.
Now, what did it say?
Education.
Education is an enlightened experience. Now, don't we hear that in spirituality? I want to be enlightened. You only going to get that enlightened through education. You got to receive. And what?
The education is beyond
Well,
systematic instruction.
you need systematic instructions. That's how you're going to get enlightened. See, in the past we was taught that, an angel showed up to somebody, they got instant enlightenment. We fell for it because we ain't know no better. You get enlightenment through systematic knowledge of a process, of an experience. That's how it's going to come. We don't want to hear that other stuff no more. Go through the experience. Take yourself through it. See what it's like to do breath work. You understand? To really breathe. To see the power behind it. Other than that, you just read it in a book. Well, they say breath work is very powerful. I was at this one retreat, and every meditation I tried to teach, this young guy read it in the book. So he's trying to tell me, well, it says in the meditation at the end you're supposed to put your fingers together. All right, I got that. That's what the book said. But we're talking from experience now. This is what works. That was just to get you jump-started, in the book. But he had a lot of book knowledge, but he ain't mastered nothing. Don't even know the experience of it. So you got to take that and get an experience of what it's like to live a holistic lifestyle. When you get the experience of it, then you'll be able to see living food-free more clearly. Other than that, you just sit back trying to put it together and want somebody else to do it for you. How's that going to happen? Uh-oh. Here we go, the school of hard knocks. And there's times you're going to fall down. I remember the first time I was like, the third day. I was doing no food and no liquids. And I said, I'm a breatharian. Until my sister brought some chocolates to the house. Right! I had to go through the school of hard knocks. I woke up, chocolate all over me. Fell many times with avocados. Right! Boy, these taste good. I can become a breatharian, but I just can't get rid of these. Until one day, it just didn't feel right no more. That was my experience. Then it was time for me to leave it alone. My body was letting me know, but I had to go through that experience. I couldn't go off of what nobody else was saying. Oh, I couldn't go off of what other people was telling me when to make my transition, when to change and all of this. It just came from me living it. This is your life. Your feet is on the floor. What do you want to do with these energies? You have access to all of them in the universe. And it comes through the school of hard knocks. All right, read more about this. Now listen at this now. Enlightenment comes through education.
Through education. is beyond earning degrees.
It's beyond earning a degree. Ain't nobody gonna give you no paperwork.
It is more than bookish knowledge.
It's more than bookish knowledge. This is the experience. I remember one time I was in the Navy and I seen all of these dolphins. There was like 100 of them. They was racing the ship. This is beautiful. Let me go get my camera. So I took all these pictures, but when the pictures got developed and I looked at it, that's not the experience I saw. I showed other people, that's good. That's not what I saw. You can't beat the experience. And sure enough, I was in the Himalayas and this guy was showing his pictures. And I said, you know those pictures don't show the experience. He said, I know it. He stopped showing the pictures. I said, you ain't got to stop showing them. I'm just saying, there's nothing better than experience. That's it. It goes beyond bookish knowledge. So living on planet, it don't matter what nobody says, what they're doing, how long they did it. You ain't going to know until you get into the holistic lifestyle. You got to love this. You got to pick yourself up. You got to be tough. That's somebody from the school of hard knocks. You just don't give up and quit. They said if I fasted for one day, I'm supposed to get a whole lot of energy, so I quit. That's not what it's about. You ain't going to get no energy till you get healed. That's where it start coming in. You got to heal yourself. And you got to stick in there. That's how it comes about. All right, keep reading again.
Education means moral values.
Now listen to this. Oh, wait a minute.
We're here.
All right, now this is dealing with true education. This is what they say true education is. The one education, we know about the degrees and you get your paperwork. But now we talk about the school of hard knocks where it says it goes beyond bookish knowledge and it's a life experience. But this is what they say true education is. Now read this.
So it means moral values.
Moral values.
Positive thinking.
Positive thinking.
Attitude of helping.
Attitude of helping.
Attitude of giving to society.
Attitude for giving to society.
And ethical values.
And ethical values. That's the Breatharian path. That's our energy. Don't it feel good to smile at somebody and they smile back? That just nourished you. How you going to be a Breatharian and you just mad at the world? The energies just got blocked. That's not how it works. Right. There was one guy that was saying, he's a Breatharian, but why is he so angry? I said, because he's not a Breatharian.
Not yet.
It spoke for itself. Now what's coming out of him, that's why he's angry. That's the process. But right now, the universe ain't helping them. But that's true education. And that's all dealing with energy. So as you get anything out this message, the process is basically to take a look at yourself. The relationship with yourself, with the environment around you, and society. That's true education. It ain't got nothing to do with books. It's an experience you'll start going through. That's why they say there's a saying, even a mean dog wags his tail. Even a mean dog wags his tail.
But what do you mean by that in this context?
Oh, well, in this context, basically, even if dog is mean, what do I mean in this context? He's not mean at everything.
It means that even he's part of society.
He's part of society. He likes somebody or likes something. He'll wag his tail. So sometimes we like to say, this is just completely evil. There's no such thing as something being completely evil. That's in our minds again. Everything here, the universe is user-friendly. Everything is connected and harmonized. But see, being on this path again, you're going to become good at working with energy on every level. That's what you're doing with. All right, read that one more time. True education.
Okay, and then we have a continuation. So true education is beyond earning degrees.
It's beyond earning the degree.
It is more than bookish knowledge.
And it's more than bookish knowledge. You got to live this thing.
And And education means moral values,
Moral values.
positive thinking.
Now that's a big one. We all got this voice that's in us, right? Talking to us all the time. You talk to yourself more than anybody else. And that voice, for some reason, it over-highlights stuff. It blows things out of proportion. So therefore, it's negative. You got to confront that voice on the pranic path. You do. That's why you got to be tough. You can't let it beat up on you. You got to look back and say, no, I ain't doing it like that today. I don't see it like that. That's the conversation you got to start having with yourself. There was a time I had my apartment, living by myself, and somebody actually thought that I lived with another person. But they'll hear me talking back and forth.
הוא דיבר לעצמו כל היום, אז חשבו שהוא גר עם עוד מישהו.
Right. I had to put him in his place. No, you shut up. You shut up. You got to be tough. You're going through the school of hard knocks. I think that, yeah.
Active.
Right.
So, positive thinking, attitude of helping.
An attitude of helping. Attitude equals altitude. Everybody, I want to raise my vibration, raise my vibration. Change your attitude. That's going to get you the altitude to change the vibration.
And attitude of giving to society and ethical values.
Giving to society. Now, why do you want to give to society? Because then you start understanding your consciousness first it starts, it's in my head, this is my thinking. Then you start, when you really start dealing with yourself, your body is an extension of your mind. So therefore, this is all your consciousness. This is the way you think. And then it gets even deeper. You do create your reality. So automatically being on the breatharian path, that's how you know. A person start giving to the society because that's them.
Can I ask a question? Specifically since I missed out on it, I came late. I really apologize for this. Is it being a breatharian 24/7, 365, or is it just for brief periods of time in between? I'm just curious.
Oh, now, I'm glad you brought that up. Let's go to the definition of breatharian. Now, we use that word breatharian. Breath sound good, huh? The ruach, we here in Israel. The breath of life. Everybody got used to the Bible. God breathed in his nostrils, the breath of life. All right, so we got this breath. Now, this term came up calling people who don't eat breatharians from a newspaper reporter after World War II, and he said he just called them breatharians, so it stuck with it. But now you got other cultures like prana, we use that word. That means breath from India. Chi is another word they use in China. Ki, Japan, Ka in Africa, and we can go on and on. So everybody's dealing with this breath definition. Now, breatharian, the ability not to eat, this skill. It comes from the ancient word, anidia, and that's the ancient word for fasting, where it means to eat very little or none at all. Now, notice how I said this is a skill. And you learn a skill from what? Education. Any skill you learn is going to be from a systematic process to learn that skill and get better at it. So now you got your life and you became this good energy worker, right? We're just saying, you learned this skill. Everything's energetic. So now you know everything has the abilities on how you use it to nourish you. So now it's your life and you're the creator of it. Now we got to ask this question now. How are you going to start applying it on what you want to do with it? Like say for instance, you meet a new group of friends. I'm just saying, throwing it out there. You got different options. See, we don't want to make this spooky because sometimes people don't come out teaching the breatharian knowledge. You know why? Because people will say, I bet I never see you eat or drink again. That's a hard blow, ain't it? And all they did was say, how long do you need them to go?
I lost you.
Oh. A lot of people don't come out teaching living on prana because people will expect them through their definition. I bet I never see you eat or drink again. And this person is telling you, I didn't ask for that.
Okay.
So now you're taking control of my life.
Like
Right.
expecting.
How, and so the question is now, as we educate, this is why we got to educate. How long would you need that person to go without food or water for you to know that it exists? Because this person might be with their grandkids one day and say, maybe I should drink with the grandkids, some Kool-Aid with them. Grandma has some Kool-Aid. As soon as they drink the Kool-Aid, here come the populace. We saw them drink Kool-Aid. There ain't no breatharian. Human being has to drink something. That's what we'll do. Or they'll place you as a god. See, because I've seen breatharians who, where the definition wasn't clear, they got in that seat, and it became very hard on them because they couldn't recreate their life again. They couldn't meet nobody new, couldn't meet a girlfriend, boyfriend, couldn't sit down and eat with them. But I see you eat. But I want a year, I want 6 months. Can I eat with them? The food won't pass through me. It ain't like I'm going to keep eating. So people don't even come out no more. I'm just saying, I'm just bringing this up. So you ask the question, if it's for little periods or if it's for long periods. It's about when you want to apply it. See, when I teach, there is an age thing to go along with it. I got to say it. My son, for instance, he's 21. He learned the skill. Now, why should he go 21 years old, never experiencing? Remember we went into life experiences? Food, what, family, friends, and this other stuff. You don't need to put yourself in a closet like that. Am I talking sense? So therefore, it's a skill that you picked up where when a person eats food, it's just a life experience. And do you have the power? This will make you different than the average person. To lay it back down. You won't die. Now, if a person chooses to say, I want to experience to never eat again, you can do that. It's up to the person. But what they're doing is, what are you doing that for? To explore consciousness. Remember I said, first the consciousness start here. Then it'll start in your body. Then you start, because the consciousness is the final frontier. You start seeing things and working at a level that you don't want no parts of the lower frequency, but that's up to the person. But do the human being have the ability to do that? Absolutely. Is that what you're asking?
Well, but given that we live in a pretty dense environment, we live in a dense environment, we function in society which is dense. You know, it's not light energy, it's just pollution and so on. So do you need to just get out of society and go to the Himalayas? I'm saying something extreme, but do you need to live in your own communities, or can you function in society while being
check this out.
breatharian?
Now, this is what I want you to educate. Your body's designed to get rid of stress. So your digestive system still works. This little pollution in Tel Aviv is not going to hurt a breatharian.
It's a lot of pollution.
To you it is because you said you live in a dense world. I'm not living in no dense world. That's your perception. I live in a breatharian world.
So do you have like special filters that filter out?
Your body does it all the time. It's a good absorber of energy. Everybody take their hand and feel the atmosphere. Don't you feel the moisture? There's water in the atmosphere. So what do you mean you live in a dense atmosphere? What happened was your awareness of how you're looking at things. You didn't feel that before. You didn't know that your body was absorbing fluid. So somebody has to educate you so you can see things differently.
I mean that we're at the mercy of the elements. For instance, here we're using air conditioning, right now. So why do you use air conditioning?
Let me try to put it in a different way.
Right.
Can you filter whatever you intake, just to take in what you want to take in? But because you were trained, you're educated in terms of in a way, spiritually. But basically, we absorb the dust in the air. We absorb a lot of negative energy with the breath or with the food. How do we just able to intake just what good we by the training?
Oh no. See, even if, say for instance, we take off man-made pollution, you'll get polluted just from nature. Nature is not clean. This is why your body's designed to work in this realm. It's designed to get rid of things that don't need. You'll get dirty even if you took a shower just from the meteors hitting the atmosphere and they break up making dirt. Your body can handle that little bit of pollution more than it can eating something dense. Don't worry about it. When I was in India, we had this machine that it was red everywhere we went. And people would ask the question, well, how's the air? We ain't thinking about the air. The body will take care of that. Don't worry about it. See, that's the problem. We're getting in the way. It'll get rid of it. Does that make sense?
So your answer is to her question that you don't need to live in a separate environment.
I've been to the Himalayas and it ain't impressed me, not even the people that's living there. I became a breatharian in an urban city. So the people that was living there, they wanted to be breatharian. Being in the Himalayas didn't make them breatharian.
And you manage.
Actually, their health was bad. After I get done, I bettered their health. I'm the one came out of pollution. Now, take this back now. There's some environments that are more nutritious than others. Nobody's arguing that, number one. Believe me, when I was up there in the Himalayas and the Ganges River, I was in breatharian paradise. Nobody's arguing that. But the point I'm trying to make, with the correct education, this is energy right here, right now. This is what you got to look at, or you wouldn't be living. You're moving off of it. See, it's sort of like an ant hill. You know, there's millions of ants in there. You know, they got their world going on. Now, when we look at it, the trees is around. They got this ant hill. They're in nature. But I'm sure some ant probably there saying, I need to move out of this colony and get into nature. He's already in the nature. You never left. So therefore, with the right education, just start working with these energies where you at. Your body will do it. It's user-friendly. And check this out. How should I say it? Just making any sense. It's sort of like when I was in India. I'm driving my motorbike, because some people think your digestive system won't work no more. I swallowed some bugs just riding a bike. Right, I ran through the cloud. It's going to come out soon. Everything is still working. It's just working at a higher level. So we think everything shuts itself down. It's working at a higher level. Your skin clears itself up. Your eyes clears itself up. You have more energy. That's what we're talking about. This is a health message. But don't think you're going to live like the boy in the bubble. You know that movie where you just can't come out in the environment no more? That's not what we're talking about. See, your body always takes on, there's three things it takes on, this body of ours. Energy flows upwards. You always got this flow automatically taking place. Then we under gravity, coming this way. Gravity is constantly on us. Then we got a thing called entropy. You're always falling apart. That's nature. That's the way it is. And your body can handle it. So what we're doing is becoming a breatharian. You know this flow of energy is coming upwards. That's why they keep showing you the spinal cord, the serpents coming up, the thing. Energy flows upwards. So when a person feels an ache and a pain through meditation, that's just a blockage taking place, usually from food, number one culprit. And the other one is these other thought processes we deal with. But when you start removing that, because energy, all energy runs an energetic path. Now the foundation of you, when we was in school, this is what throwing everybody off. And when you was in biology class, your education basically stopped at, how should I say, dealing with biology. They went to the physical level. They talked about the muscle, the bone, nutrition, and they stopped there. But you got knowledge down that would take you, if you were to drag somebody across the floor, the muscle and bone and everything would across the floor. But the next level, the molecules went across the floor. The next level, the atoms went across the floor. Now, when you start looking more closely, that's what science does. Your cells in your body, which are made up of, feed off of a high-density energy called ATP. Your body feeds off of energy. So it's the way you start looking at yourself, that's how you're going to start functioning. This is why I'm saying in this message, the way you're going to know is through experiencing it and bringing your cells and everything back online, back on tune, so they can start working. Am I saying it right? It's sort of like your cells in your body. I was watching the Little Rascals one day. You remember that Little Rascals used to come on? Where there was a gang of kids all together. Anyway, they wanted to make some money, so they made a lemonade stand to sell some lemonade. And they wasn't getting nobody buying the lemonade. So one kid said, I know what to do. So he took some salt and put it on some crackers and gave the crackers out free. And the people came by eating the crackers, and they got thirsty and started buying the lemonade. Because the salt irritated the cells of the body, so it triggered the person to feel like they're thirsty so the cells could clear themselves out. See, we're dealing with chemistry, we're dealing with energy, and those are your two main systems right there when you're on this type of path. Your neurons in your body. Just for me to move this foot, that was an electrical signal. Ding. And it works hand in hand with the chemicals that's constantly let loose in the body, which is called your endocrine system. In other words, we're hormonal. We're made of hormones. Remember I said earlier, when the sun come out, serotonin let loose. When the moon come out, melatonin set loose. Your body's constantly making sexual fluids, sexual energies, that has the power to create another human being. This is a lot of power running through the body. But now you got to start getting educated on making these energetic connections. Now, the food intake we're dealing with again, that's a big one. We'll get back to that. But read that other thing dealing with the, let's go straight to the quotes of the School of Hard Knocks.
All right, so
And that one important one.
maybe just to summarize, that this kind of students are only these kinds of students can bring the changes in society.
Now they're saying here that the students, read that over again, about true education. They're saying that those type of students is the only ones that can bring true change to society. See, even where we're at in humanity, on the path we took and the negativities of the past, nobody's arguing that. There is some things we learn collectively on what's too negative to what work and what will. And you see humanity slowly changing more and more. Even McDonald's is giving off a vegan sandwich now. So you ain't got to look at the world fully dark. We're learning from some things. Lighten up the diet. Do this. This is all across the board. Because when you look at this pandemic of health, it's things that could have been prevented, could have been stopped. So the Breatharian message is already here. All it's telling people was like to wake up, take it a little further. So a person with the Breatharian education, they just pushed it a little bit further, that's all. You get a lot of power off of breath work if you took it seriously. Get the energy from it. Now read that again.
We're actually doing Veshinantam
Vishinantam. And you got to stay consistent.
again and again. True education is beyond earning degrees. It is more than bookish knowledge. Education means moral values, positive thinking,
Positive thinking,
attitude of helping,
attitude of helping,
attitude of giving to society,
attitude of giving to society,
and ethical values.
and ethical value. Now listen at this next part.
And these kinds of students are only able to bring changes in society.
And these type of people can bring changes to society. So what is that saying? A person on a breatharian path is qualified to bring changes to society. Did I say that? A person who went through the school of hard knocks, who got the degree, passed books, has the power to bring changes to society. They're coming straight up with it. What works, what don't work, what's draining society, where the stress is at, even stopping the wars. A person like that has the power to bring change to society. You don't get it out of a book. This is coming from life experiences. And we're in an age now dealing with soft power. Whoever tells the best story wins. And society is changing at a fast pace. You see the negativities here and there, don't worry about it. But you also see the growth. Everybody's getting health conscious. Whether they ain't moving fast enough for you or not. It's in everybody's face. He who eat less, live longer. Medical profession is telling you that. A starvation diet is the best diet. They telling you that. They telling you a breatharian. That's what Harvard is telling you. They coming out with it.
There's a new video now for the person that applied a one-day starvation and won a Nobel Prize.
Ain't this something? Winning Nobel Prizes. And that's in the regular curriculum of the world. They're already there. But they need the person of hard knocks just to come out with it, because it won't mess with our paperwork. You ain't got none. Now read some of those quotes.
All right, we're page number 3, right?
Right. And read that one when me and you talked about that caught our attention.
Can I ask something, or you want?
Oh, go ahead.
After reading, yeah. You mentioned earlier that when you go on the Breatharian path, what happens is that you will encounter traumas that are like ingrained in the body, and you have to. You said deal with them.
Right.
And my question is, how do you deal with them?
I'm glad you brought that up. See, they gave us a lot of stories from the past, and one famous one is dealing with Buddha, when he hit a lightning under the Bodhi tree. Now, all he did was sit there, and his past start coming up automatically. See, energy, everything is energetic, and energy loves to move. It don't like to sit stagnant. So your past traumas is in you. If you relax long enough, that's why meditation is a foundation. Those things will come up to your attention eventually. They'll move upwards. So in other words, there's a meditation called Vipassana.
Vipassana.
And even though that's an organized meditation, these traumas will come up in you when you're on the breatharian path. Why would they do that? Because you are going for purity, purging yourself out on all levels. So I said, don't worry about the food, but the food is there. You understand? And then you're meditating. Meditation start cleaning you out. Energy start running. Then you're going into those other values, what I was telling you about your social life, your moral expectations on how you treat people. All of this energy start cleaning you out. So those negative things that's in you will start coming to the surface. Now the next question is, how do you deal with them?
Yeah, I also feel like sharing that I was on a path of like detoxification on many levels. Stopped smoking, taking several kinds of drugs, medicine.
Right.
Changed my diet in the process of, it took about 2 years.
Right.
And started intermittent fasting, and there was a certain point that I did experience a serious increase in the level of stress, anxiety, panic, really like post-traumatic effects that just were not a part of my life before when I was in all the toxins, yeah?
Right.
And it was unbearable. It was just unbearable. I didn't know how to deal with it, so that's why I went back to several of the toxins to ameliorate the pain, because it was unbearable. And I am getting ready for the next try, yeah. So I want to know.
I'm glad you brought this up. There was a guy at my retreat who went through something similar to that. And this is why we're educating again. Because usually when something hits you and you don't know that's supposed to hit you, it caught you off guard.
Get panicked by it.
You got panicked by it, and you shut it back down. But now since we're educating you on this, that this is going to happen. See, this is a systematic education now. You know what to expect. This time it will be different when you go into it. It will be different because you know what to expect. See, this is why we're sharing the path now. And it does mean something when somebody already been through a path. It makes it easier for the other people to go down that path. That's why being a breatharian or the knowledge is easier now. It was harder for the first fruits. We had nobody to go to. But now, since we're telling you these things on education, this is what's going to take place. And there's many therapies out there that will help you. But now you know what to expect, that this is going to happen. You know what it is. So this time you don't need to shut it all down through a panic attack. It's supposed to happen. And when it comes to the surface, see, there is an inward helping voice that's in us. How should I say it? When we need to learn something or go to another direction, it seems like a person or an event will take place that will guide us to the next step we need to go to next. Who we need to go to. You understand? So therefore, this is why we're sharing this. See, I ain't going to tell you step by step how to deal with this, but since you expect it to happen now, and it's going to happen, and you should want it to happen, because when you get through that and clear those blockages, it will bring more light into the body. You will feel lighter, and you will feel that other influx of nourishment. So you're looking forward to it now. This is the good thing about the path.
I wanted to ask you, I tried a few, and one of them was no sugar, no meat, no gluten, and I felt great for a few months, and then I started just like to feel hungry again. And when I stopped doing, I cannot go back. Every time it's not become easier if I know the path. It becomes harder.
Oh, in other words, you started on this path, and when you went backwards, it seemed like it's harder now.
Yes, and it was great for a few months, and then it just stopped.
Okay.
I felt angry, not angry, hungry, and then I started to eat regular, and then I could not go back.
Now, one thing I can kind of put together, now this is what I usually tell people. In the old days, the spiritual path or making diet changes or anything was no pain, no gain. We put these restrictions on us, and we're trying to keep that path. But now, since we got a lot more information, there's no brains, no gain. And when I tell people you should want your energetic path to be fun and enjoyable. If it's fun and enjoyable, you will stay on the path. So therefore, for you to jump off of it, and it's difficult to get back on, I guarantee you probably had too many hard restrictions on yourself.
But I have to, because if I'm eating one,
Now listen like that word, you had to. You hear what she said? I had to. Well, why do you don't want to go back?
Because if I'm eating like something I really like, or I'm feeling good when I eat it, I'll become sick.
Oh man. All right, so now we got to relook at it. Okay, first of all, you don't have to beat up on yourself. And we don't have to be real hard on ourselves. See, if you just make a little change, it makes big changes. And that's why even when I went through my process, we were talking about processes. It wasn't no 21-day, 8-day. This is a lifelong transformation. You understand? Don't put no roof on yourself that in 3 weeks I'm supposed to be here, 3 months. No, don't do that to yourself. Just make these changes and have fun as you're going. And when you have fun, get your favorite meditation. And every once in a while, now listen to what I'm about to say. Feel free to splurge. Like you said, you left a no splurge. That helps people. Like you said.
לעשות משהו כאילו מפור.
Because that was tough when she said on herself, I stopped all the sugars.
בצורה מודעת.
And you're around where sugars is all around you. Wow, you were setting yourself up for, man. So in other words, I learned to treat my body on the path like it was, we was making friends again, like a little kid. See, the body makes a good servant, but a bad master. It makes a good servant, but a bad master. So when you retraining it, I used to give my body a reward. Thank you for these 3 days we did this. Now, since we did this, we're going to go get ice cream cone. That's how it was in the mind. And then, next week, we're going to do this again. But afterwards, we're going to go get that ice cream cone. Oh, I'm ready. So it starts trusting you again. See, there's an inward trust. Remember I told you that voice is the one we're talking to? Right now, it's like a separate entity. It don't know about food freedom or what you're trying to do in your health. All it knows is this is what we like doing. Don't let it win out. You got to kind of make friends with it again and show it the benefits on why we go in this direction. So again, as soon as you said, I cut all sugars out. Whoa. That was hard on yourself.
I don't have any choices because if I eat a little bit, I want to eat more and more and more. So the only way I can handle it is if I stop.
All right, Netta.
I
Now
would,
listen at this.
I would offer that food is never the problem.
Right. Here we go.
Food is never the problem. Usually, it's how I come to meet the food. I come to meet the food angry, or worried, or stressed, or fear, or need, or from my history, from my trauma, from my emotions. You know, when we're babies, we're born and we cry, and our mother will give us the breast. We're not always hungry. Sometimes something else, but she doesn't know, right? So from the beginning, we connect our emotional needs. I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm bored. We connect this with food. And these connections that they're not useful when we grow older. So I think more than the food, I think our mind. We start with the mind. Start with the mind. Start with, as Ellie Tom says, meditation is the foundation. Work with your mind first. As your mind and your emotions clear, then your food and how you interact with your food will clear too. So I'd say really, you know, as your mind clears, your food choices will be different.
Absolutely. Yeah. And notice how she said, and they telling you this, see, here they go in Harvard again, the medical profession. An addiction really isn't a substance. It's dealing with other issues. We're covering that up. So that's why the Breatharian path is so good again. Don't focus on eating or not eating. We're focused on these other issues that's going to bring us into this, to be healthier, happier. So that's the key. And again, she brought up my favorite quote, meditation is the foundation. Now, meditation is a loose word. It can mean many things. What are we talking about? We at least want to start out, and we're going to go through a meditation. There's many out there, but we'll go through one in the group. We want to work out building this connection with the energy, feeling this force. And all meditations deal with what? Relaxation. As soon as you relax, the breath will drop itself, the thoughts will start slowly going down on its own, and the breath will slow itself down. Did I say that? And the energy start flowing through the body, automatically on its own. So it means a lot when you start dealing with that on that type of level. It will help a whole lot. Now, we do got a thing called the monkey mind. There's a journey to dealing with meditation. I might have to do a class on that one day. But start getting used to these new things. Bring them into your life. Now, dealing with the pranic path again. Let's at least build a foundation. Where do we begin?
Open society, good thinking.
She on it. Good thinking. Positive thinking, right. And at least fast once a week. You know, bring that in, engage it. Now, what type of fast you going? You ain't got to go straight dry fast. If you make a change that's differently to what you're doing now for that one day, it means a lot for the physical body. You might have a day where you just do juices. You might have a day where you just do soups if you're used to eating heavy all week. Or you might do a half a day. But get your body into that cycle where it's doing something differently. And we being creatures of habits, the body be looking forward to that day. See, there's a chronological clock in us. My body, when I start doing fasting once a week, it knew that that day was coming up. So guess what it did to me? Let's go to the restaurant and get our favorite meal before the fast start. Right. And then after it was over, I treated myself. I was waiting outside the restaurant. But that was me. But as long as I felt good about myself, making it through that 24 hours, you understand? So at least challenge yourself through the school of hard knocks. You got to be tough now. When you're dealing with the Breatharian path, you really got to be tough in life. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps and get an education that's going to come through experience. So we want to think good. We want to fast once a week. We want to get a meditation. And we got YouTube out there now and all this other good stuff. Good meditations out there. Good chakra meditation.
What?
Chakra.
Chakra.
They even got the different beats that will send a frequency right through the computer. You can take advantage of this age. This is a good age we're in. Walking more in nature. You don't need to fully live Tel Aviv. The beach is right there. You got all these trails. It's our way of thinking again. See, people will say to me sometimes, should you be in the Himalayas? I can make this into the Himalayas. After I get done, I would have had a full pranic day right here in Tel Aviv. It's where you're going. Time management. Absolutely. You don't even see the cars no more. Last time I was here, I was riding around on the bike. Right, having fun. That's how we use it again. It's all energetic. And then what we got?
Exercise.
And exercise. Now, a lot of people hate exercise. They do. I didn't know that at first. But exercise is awesome when you look at it differently. You are working out. Everything is energy, right? And this is like frozen light. When you start engaging in some type of way, you're working directly with the light. All you see is light. We're light beings. So if you want to work directly with the light, work with this right here. A little stretch. I did my stretching for the day. 20 minutes will make a difference. Getting that energy to flow. And you will see these changes take place. That's the pranic path. And see, once you master these things, just on those levels, look how I use that word master. And that's just saying, okay, I got this. Then you come up it a little bit. Don't do that big diet change. Just up it a little bit. Upgrade. That's all you need to do. And then once you get to that level, up it again. So as I started going on my little pranic journey, that's what kept happening. I just kept upping it more and more. Now there was a time I weighed what, 190 pounds, which is like 83, 85 kilos or something like that. That was a lot. And people were scaring me too, because I ain't had no teachers back then. I got down to 70 pounds. You lost too much weight. Now here I am feeling good, 160. You lost 150. Now here I am, 120. Nobody said nothing. Now I was in India just now, and I had a friend with me. You know, somebody trying to say something mean over the social media, saying she looked like she's need food and stuff. And I said, well, people used to say that about me, but they ain't saying it now, because this is the form they used to seeing me in. So when they used to seeing you in this form, of course it looked different. Even my family ain't saying nothing now. They used to seeing me like this. So now they saying you look good all of a sudden. But when people see you make a quick drop like that, of course they love you, they're going to say something. But when it goes gradual, everybody get used to seeing your new form. And then you get comfortable with it. And this is where you're at. So we want to take everything slowly and allow the universe to work with you. What I mean by the universe? Yourself. The energies. Everything is energetic. And you will get there quicker than when you know. That's why they give us stories like the tortoise and the hare. Hare try to rush through it. People always try to jump in the panic prep. I ain't eating nothing no more. Tape on them out. And then all of a sudden, the person is taking it slow. Go further. They're having fun. They're happy. And that's what you want to do. Keep happiness at the forefront. Now, what was that?
I wanted to ask, maybe it's like a ridiculous question in this context, but I'm just trying to understand. What about nutrients? You know, like today, even when you go to alternative healers, they will take like a blood test and like check for like substances in your blood. So,
that's interesting.
And they say that like lack of B12 or all kind of materials can affect your nervous system.
That's interesting, ain't it?
What?
I said that's interesting.
So what's your opinion about that? Is that like you don't believe in that? Or?
Oh, check this out. And of course, I'm in a lot of places, people start laughing, and I was in India, and believe me, there was always a doctor. I'm a doctor, you know, they'd be in front of me. How do you get your vitamins, minerals? And I got to tell the truth, I don't know what that is. And then I asked them a question, do you know what it is? Have you ever seen one? Well, no. That's the book knowledge again. They learned it in the book, not saying we're not demanding. I don't know. But I don't know what that stuff is. So I guess is, remember how powerful our thinking is? People who usually have a harder time making the change on this levels are usually the people who are more educated with the book knowledge. I even had a friend one time saying, she's a physical therapist, she realized my thinking is blocking me a lot due to how I was educated. And there's Wim Hof, any of y'all know him, the Iceman? He got the Guinness Book of World Records, and he came up with all these brilliant breath techniques. But he even admitted that he was able to do that due to having a certain type of ignorance. But then again, we learned this stuff off of the School of Hard Knocks. Experience. See, I ain't know nothing about a vitamin. All I knew was, oh, leave meat alone. I got canned goods. That's all I know. I'm a vegan. Oh, eat more live and raw food. I just got a thing of apples. Oh, start juicing more. Meditate. That's all I know. And then pretty soon the energy picked itself up. I'm having more energy. The food start getting less. I start going longer. I set it down. That's all I know. A vitamin. Who added that
asked the question is I think food, especially like live food that hasn't been baked and cooked and killed, you know,
Right.
that has like enzymes, it still has life in it. This food has energy. Live food has energy.
We're going for the energy.
And so go for the energy, go for foods that look like you want to look like. Bright, colorful, fresh, whole, you know, not like I think we can look like the nice food, you know. If people eat cheap food, zol, right? Cheap food or a lot of fat food or fast food, or McDonald's, then I will look cheap, fat, you know, and maybe not too fast. So, but as I pick more food that is live and fresh and has energy, then I'll feel the energy of that food. So I don't worry about vitamins and minerals. I look at, do I want to look like that food?
Yeah, but I know that food is not only for energy, because one of the things, for example, like neurotransmitters and the serotonin, dopamine, or like enzymes, materials that are part of processes in our body also are built on molecules that come from the food, right? Like
Yes,
No.
this is at a foundational level, and where most people in society are at this level. Your body has multi-levels that can operate, and where usually a lot of people are at the basic level of eating food, digesting, and just trying to, they're overeating. So they're not eating great food. So the body is very busy with this lower level. However, when you clean those levels and you get lighter and lighter food, and like maybe green juices for a while or whatever, that has a lot of energy but not a lot of work, then your system gets better and better and lighter, so that initially we're getting the energy from the food, and we're making what we need. Eventually, as you become lighter and lighter, your body learns how to make what it needs from the energy, from something lighter, not the physical food. So the physical food has energy because it got that energy from the sun, from water, from the earth. It got this energy. So this is the energy that we're getting in the food. Eventually, when you lighten your food so much, then you also are more like a plant. Elitom's book, Human Photosynthesis 101. So we're getting the energy directly from the sun and from nature and from air and water. We're getting things, and our body at an elevated way can put things together and create what we need. So this is, not that many people in the world, slowly more, are where Elitom is, right? But until then, we're at a process. Be where you are, get healthy, nice, live food that will make you more alive, lighten up everything, and I will say that your body will do the best it can with what you give it. And when you get lighter, your body can do amazing things.
School of Hard Knocks.
So,
Thank
you know,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So,
awesome.
just a minute, excuse me. I just want to introduce זוהר. זוהר, יש לו את החווה שנקראת חוות העיסים ליד מושב אבן ספיר, נכון? And we're going to do there a retreat of 5 days from זה בערי יהודה, כן, אבן ספיר ליד
Now this
ירושלים.
that's just 5 days
And
experience.
we're going to do the retreat from the next Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning until Monday. And there's beautiful hills, a beautiful surrounding, water fountains, Mayana. And I'm just waiting to be there. I'm counting the days. So this is our first retreat, and he will be hosting us.
Oh,
Is it not fun?
Yes.
It's going to be
Yes.
total
Retreat
fasting or
of
different for
5
everybody?
days.
It'll be different for
Maybe
everybody.
it's a-
We'll work with everybody's level.
Not prana?
But the
It's
main
not
thing,
prana. Every day is like a workshop,
Mhm.
but it's 5 whole days
right,
together.
and we'll meet yes,
Yeah.
and we'll meet everybody where they're at, and we'll introduce you to different forms of meditations and exercises that will bring more energy into the body, like Qigong, and we're going to do one right now, matter of fact, and different types of breath work and different types of meditation, so you can have that experience that we're talking about. Once you start taking your body through this experience, it goes past the theoretical knowledge of just talking, trying to convince you. Now you start engaging this experience, and this is what we're about.
I just want to continue what she said, Neta, right?
Yes.
And we just talking about photosynthesis.
Yes.
Just use that as something to maybe clarify what you've asked. Is because I'm sort of plunging from one side from the spiritual point of view and the enlightenment and the process that you're going through, which I believe that is I totally identify with.
Right.
But if I want to take a little bit the conversation a little bit down, maybe to the more physical level, because I think it's up in the air here.
Right.
So if we talk photosynthesis, we got energy coming from the sun, which the plant can capture, but it must have CO2 in order to create carbohydrates.
Right.
Otherwise, that substance doesn't exist. The process, the chemical process doesn't exist. But it still needs to get some intake from the outside, which by science it must be done. I understand we can do maybe less. Can you teach a plant to do less in order to make it alive? I mean, just by we're doing some sort of spiritual practice here. But what about all the science knowledge? How do we put it aside and put ourselves into the more spiritual way? We develop ourselves in the spiritual way. But how does it shift completely out of science?
From a human or a plant?
For human, but
Well,
what differs? Because we're talking about vitamins. Is it necessary, or it doesn't, or we don't need to at all relate it?
Well, one of them that everybody where science told them was we get vitamin D from the sun. Now you hear that, but
Yes.
that's photosynthesis. And basically, it ain't directly vitamin D. What it is the light is touching the calcium that's in the blood. Then there's a process that vitamin D is made. Synthesis means the combining or putting together. So that's showing you the body's power right now, that it took one form of something, another, to create another. So we just learned that one, and that's all they told you. But we're doing a lot more than that. But that's photosynthesis. That's what you're saying.
Okay, but what you also said, we can do the process by taking less and none at all. Can we eliminate all the intake that we do from physical world?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. From
Absolutely.
their experience, I mean,
Yeah.
your experience in that.
Right. That's the whole goal of it. So your whole goal, eventually, in my mind, won't you go all the way one day? You understand? You know, once you begin, just keep developing. See, growth don't end, and that's the whole, how should I say? That's the experience a person should. See, we even challenge death itself. I might as well go ahead and say it. We're talking about longevity and also defeating death itself. Our body's already showing us it regenerating itself year after year and everything. We ain't playing.
But we're on a spiritual journey here, and so once we
An energetic journey.
Okay, well, they're probably different.
What's that
ways to
word,
look at it.
spiritual?
But my question is about and I confess to having been very curious, so I read up on it. Mainly, I was watching that was years back, not recently, YouTube programs and reading up on East India, that's the Asian India, masters that were Breatharians, and they were all talking about storing prana by sun gazing, and they were teaching you how to sun gaze. How you start. You don't start, of course, that's when the sun rises, only when the sun rises or
All right,
goes down.
I'll start right
And
there.
so, did you mention it since I came late? I don't know whether you talked about it.
Absolutely not. Okay, sun gazing, when that came on the scene, they came with a curriculum. That's good. It's letting everybody know that we got this big energy source, so they made a curriculum about
And
it.
it's about standing barefoot on
Right,
the
they got the whole
We do it
curriculum.
in the retreats also, we practice
Yeah.
it, it's amazing, it helps the whole day.
And we'll talk more about that.
So, because they were talking about this being the basis, that's where you start. You don't start without it.
Oh, well, that's what they're saying. They gotta market their product, all right?
Right.
Let's be. I just came from India and I met them, so I'm
It's a
like,
great product.
they gotta market
No
India's
commerce.
good at marketing their products.
But it's no commerce. There's no commerce there. It's just the sun energy that's available to everybody and everywhere, hopefully.
Well, you still gotta go buy his book, all right? So he marketed his product. You know, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I read it on the computer. I was on the internet, so I didn't read it. I
Right.
didn't buy any books.
But we understand. But the sun
I
does
just
play
want
a
to
big
thank
part.
you so much. I really hope to meet
All
you
right.
again. I'm sorry that I have
Awesome.
to leave. I wish
Oh, I know. We're about to wrap up too, so it won't get too late on everybody.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just have a ride, but thank you so much, and I hope to see you again.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was
Yeah,
lovely.
Now, since she brought up the sun, see, I don't teach sun gazing on us. Well, I show it to people, the sun and stuff like this. But when I started out, you're living in the sun right now. So what we're going to do is just to show you how this energy is everywhere. And cosmic energy is so powerful, it's coming through the roof right now. See, like they say, you ain't got to chase down the power will find you. You just got to be willing with intent and just relax. The energy is already here. See, I could do a retreat right in this building. We don't even need to go outside. You stay with me for a month, you'll be totally transformed. Right, the energy's here. It's how you work with it. It takes an education again. This is getting heavy. So right now, y'all ready for a good meditation? Any more questions?
Are you going to speak about the retreat?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, yes, so.
Maybe later after the meditation?
Actually, what do you want to ask?
What are we going to do then?
Okay, what are you going to do then? We have a more or less basic frame, and every day there are spontaneous changes, but we start with exercise in the morning, qigong, we go out to the nature, which
Awesome.
shows,
All right, the whole goal of it is,
wait just a minute, we just chose all of these places, especially to be in nature and to work more effectively and visually with the forces of nature.
and the main goal is to, what I show, I teach the Qigong, the microcosmic orbit, and the Merkaba meditations. Those are powerful meditations to get everything opened up in the body. But by us dealing with this constantly every day, and you're up under this energy, we at least do at least 4 sessions a day. So you're coming in the morning, boom, we're working again. And plus we're constantly having these circles where you got this education coming, this knowledge. So we're working with it every day, working with these energies, so you can have your body, without all the stresses in the world, you're at this retreat, in this place, working with yourself. So it's the meditations that's going to actually do it as we go through the different ones, working with them constantly. And you'd be surprised how fast your body start transforming by, going through this process. So that's the main goal right there. And again, it's taking that body through that experience. So I hope we hit it right on the head. But we're going to start early in the morning, like when the sun come up, different types of things. And the main thing in our education, is when you leave the retreat and go back home, that's where the real battle's at. That's to be clear with it. You're surrounded by food, family and friends. We're going to talk real stuff. Children, this and that and the other, when to apply it, when not to apply it. Because that was a good question you brought up. Basically, can you go without food, or it all depends what type of life you created and how, if you don't want to make yourself distance compared to, there's a lot of work to do, depending on where you're at and how you want to apply prana. Absolutely. Building back these bridges. So right now we're going to do a good Qigong meditation. And the whole idea behind this is we don't need to focus on breath work. We don't need to put our minds to think on anything or focus. All we're going to do is set the body up in the different positions and allow the body to work with the energy on its own to show you how user-friendly this is. The energy is automatically attracted to the body. All we got to do is just relax and allow it to work for us. So right now we're going to get in a nice comfortable position. Make sure the spine is straight up and down.
It's okay to do a chair.
Huh?
It's okay.
Oh, the chair is fine. And so right now get nice and comfortable. Make sure the spine is straight up and down. And our first position is sort of like you're making a ball, and you could rest your hands on your thighs and just relax. You keep your eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. Just relax the shoulders. Relax your abdomen. Relax your hips. Just allow the energy to flow. Just relax. The more you relax, the easier the energy flows. Now we're going to take our hands and go up to our shoulders like you're making a ball. Nice and relaxed. You just hold your hands in this position. Relax your hands. Relax the muscles in your face. And the energy will automatically work for you. Just allow the energy to flow. And all this cosmic energy is raining down on us. The body knows what to do with the energy. One minute in this position. Now slowly move to prayer position. Put your hands together in front of your heart chakra. And just relax. We made the energetic connection. Relax Relax the shoulders. Relax the muscles in the face. Relax your hips. The more you relax the body, the easier the energy flows. Any stress in the body, just relax into it. Now slowly move the hands all the way up, standing like a tree. Just like the branches of a tree, or like a solar panel. All this cosmic energy is raining on us both day and night. Just relax and allow the energy to flow. Relax the hands. Relax the arms. Relax the abdomen. Relax the legs. Relax the whole body. All this cosmic energy, it's in the universe. All energy runs a circuit. The more you relax into it, the easier the energy flows. Slowly bring the hands down and make a nice ball in front of you. Make it nice and strong. You can make it bigger or small. Now slowly move it from side to side. Nice and relaxed, nice and slow. Feel that flow. This is the energy that you want to accumulate, that will heal you and nourish you. The more you work with this energy, the stronger it will become every time you meditate. This is the connection. This is the prana. Nice and relaxed. Just feel that flow. Now you can kind of move the hands any way you want to. You can bring them up, you can bring them down. Nice and relaxed, nice and slow. You got energy energy channels all over our bodies. Just feel that flow. The atmosphere is thick with energy. All of this powerful energy. Allow these forces to work for you. You can slow it down even slower. Nice and slow, nice and relaxed. Feel that flow. This energy cleanses us, and every time we move, more and more energy channels are opening up. Bodies are being nourished. Our circulation of fluids in the body are cleansing themselves. Nice, good movement. Feel that flow. The energy knows where to go. Allow it to work for you. We got energy channels in our hands, in our feet coming from the earth. This energy is so powerful. It's coming up through the building, going all the way up our bodies. All this cosmic energy is raining down on us. All we have to do is receive. Accept this energy and allow it to work for us. Nice and powerful energy. You can put your waist into your shoulders. Allow the energy to flow. Nice and relaxed. And it gets stronger and stronger each time, moment by moment, day by day, month by month, year by year. This energy is always what is growing. And all we have to do is be on the path. Work with these energies, harmonize them, allow them to balance themselves out. Nice and powerful force. Nice and mellow. Feel that flow. Energy is unlimited. The more you prepare the body, the more energy it can hold. It cleanses our mind, expands our consciousness. Feel that energetic flow. Feel that power. Going through us, it's going around us, all through the body. Nice and relaxed. Slowly bring that energy, take it, and make a nice ball in front of you. Make it nice and strong. All this energy our body's collected. Make it nice and strong. Now within the ball, put your family, friends, and loved ones inside the ball. Humanity and all sentient beings, the planet Earth, and just feel that energy within inside the ball. And what we're going to do is give back to the universe on what it gave to us to keep a nice energy exchange. So on the count of 3, we're going to lift it up to the universe. And here we go. Akkad, Stein, Shlosh. Up and away. Coming from Tel Aviv, Israel. Every time we change ourselves, we change the world. It's all about the energy. Nice and powerful. Now we can take this energy, rub our hands together, give ourselves a nice energy shower. Use it for our skin, which is our largest organ. This is very, very powerful forces. The Breatharian path is basically an advanced energy worker. We're working with it head on. And it will get stronger each time you keep coming back. Vishinanta. Very powerful forces. This is awesome. And it don't end. It's always raining on us. Both day and night. But all we got to do is take a time out. Don't take much. Just recharge just like a cell phone. This was awesome. Hope everybody enjoyed. Namaste.
Namaste.
I gotta change that word to I'm going to stay.
I'm going to stay.
I'ma stay.
Please stay. Namaste, please stay.
Oh man, this was wonderful. Y'all been wonderful. Hope y'all got a lot out of this. But study as much as you can, learn as much as you can, but the main thing, take yourself through the experience.
Let's get one quote at least.
Oh, that one quote.
Yeah, one quote.
Now listen at this one.
Well, okay. Most people, once they graduate from the school of hard knocks, automatically enrolling into the University of Adversity.
Now listen
And
that.
that's Peter something,
Macmillan.
McMillan.
Most people who graduate from the school of hard knocks, meaning they picked up some life experiences, they got wise, they then enroll into the school of adversity. Now what does that mean? They start taking on more challenges. When you grow on a pranic path, you want to see what you can do. I found myself one time, I said I started out in the urban. It wasn't long before I was living in the cave. Up on the mountain. I would have never imagined that. Looking out over the ocean, said, man, I live here now. What happened to everything? I went into adversity. But that's the fun of it. You want to start seeing what you can do, because that's why they say the universe keep growing. That's us. We keep growing. It don't end. So that's what I say. You asked that. That was a good question. Got to keep going back into it. And that means you just go on eat a little, or can you let it go all together? It's up to you. The universe will keep growing. How far you want to take it, but it's there for everybody. How far you want to take it. The light don't care, it'll take you there. We're trying to keep up with the light. On the path now, people I'll be dealing with. I'm already riding a wave. I got to tell them I can't hold this. Right. They still got the other idea of the, let's do this. I can't hold it. I don't know where I'm going to end up. Wow. It won't end till you make it in. But the energy will keep working. I wasn't going to stop. You'll see here pretty soon you'll be shaking. And they're going to start to just keep coming. It'll be ready for you when you're ready next time. You'll be passed out somewhere. Ready to go some more. It's all up to us. That's the process. Oh, man.
I have another quote.
Oh.
I would like, slow and steady wins the race.
Slow and steady
Wins the race.
wins the race. That's it. Slow and steady. That's the tortoise in the hare again. Persistence.
Yeah.
But slow and steady. Because you need your body time to grow or you'll burn it out. So that's what we was talking about before. You put too much on yourself. Burnt it out. You don't want to go, I don't want to go through that no more. That's why it's there. Just take it easy so make it fun. Absolutely. You can stay in the game. That's what we want to do. That goes for everybody. It ain't no personal problem with you. It's everybody. Absolutely. You go too fast with these vessels, they need time to transform, all this other stuff. We're creatures of pleasure. You're going to look for the thing that's just like water. It's going to benefit you and help you. All right.
Before we make our closure, I think in the events, if you WhatsApp me, and anyone who wants to write down my number, it's 052.
Style.
כן. אם את רוצה גם טיפול...
יש לי, זה בפייסבוק.
בסדר, אז זה בפייסבוק. So in the Facebook, the whole curriculum of the retreat is written inside the event. I wrote down all of the hours, what's going to happen every day. And we're taking it in a slow pace. There's no need to be like shaken or frightened from the process because everyone takes it on its own pace. And I've really seen the people of the first retreat like floating. They didn't want to look even at water because the energy was so strong. It was really, really something solid that you can feel. And everyone was just full and happy and growing, all of the time growing from minute to minute to minute, very, very high energy, and it makes a big transformation, especially with the nature and working with the elements and teachings and exercising.
Moving it, working with these forces.
For how long, Eliton, are you in Israel? I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make it this time, even though I'd like to, but I have all kinds of things coming up.
Right.
So for how long are you staying in Israel?
The end of June. The end of
June? That's
yes.
not very much.
Yes.
No.
The last we
I
had
know.
I mean, that's just a month.
I know.
Yeah, even less.
And we got a retreat after that.
Our retreat, the last one is from the 20 to the 22 in Moshav Nir Tzvi in Chavat Teva Adam.
Where's that?
It's Moshav Nir Tzvi. You can look it up in the. It's near Rishon LeZion. We'll send the exact
okay.
direction.
So that's
Don't worry.
Central Israel.
It's